Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is David Benjamin from HealthyWildandFree.com. Today I have a special guest here. I'm just going to have a kind of a short interview and kind of have a candid conversation with Stephanie McKeith. She's the founder of Theta Living, which is a holistic health and wellness center here in Michigan, not too far from me. And she's hosting an event here in Michigan next month in August, August 19th, here in Dearborn, Michigan. That is educating and inspiring and connecting people who are interested in learning how to prevent cancer and how to use nutrition and holistic therapies to keep themselves healthy, well, and just be in an environment where you can learn from and network with some of the top minds in health and wellness. And she has a lot of unique experience working with cancer patients and working with people in a holistic and natural way. And if you see her screen blinking, that's an effect we added just to make it more cool and exciting and kind of party-like. So Stephanie, thanks for being here today. Thanks for taking the time to speak to my audience and share who you are and what you do and what this event is about.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for hanging on a
Awesome.
Tuesday.
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to begin by asking you, what kind of inspired you to getting into, the holistic health and wellness space and start Theta Living in the first place?
So I've been in the fitness and wellness industry for decades, actually, and that kind of led me into physical therapy where I saw the need for more rehabilitation. People were coming to me with injuries and things that were limiting them, and they just couldn't do all the things they wanted to do. So focusing on fitness in general didn't seem like it was my cup of tea anymore. I had a lot of people who needed therapeutic type um, therapy.
Right.
So I got into physical therapy, and while I was in school, my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer. So it was the first like slam to my family with that personal touch of cancer. So the first thing the doctor said, chemo, radiation, and surgery.
Hmm.
And we asked, what else? What are the other options? And they said, you don't have any. So that just, I was always the more natural kind, what I thought was natural
Right.
at that time. Um, Along the way, I learned that was completely not natural, what I thought was natural at that point in time. So I just started digging and interviewing and emailing and phone calling and researching. And I found this whole new world of holistic, healthy living and cancer treatment options. And you don't have to get sick if you get cancer and want treatment. There are ways around that. There are ways to support yourself. And in doing that, I built this entire network that just opened my eyes to cancer truths, treatment truths, a whole other aspect, another realm of the health industry that I had no idea even existed,
Yeah.
which I know you've come across this too. That's what happens to most people who work their way into this industry. We just didn't know it existed until we found it. We stumbled upon it by accident or by force because somebody we know, either ourselves or a loved one, was diagnosed with cancer, and we're not comfortable with that modern molded way of treatment. That getting sick, that picture of cancer that we all have in our minds.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely opens up a new world. And then it's funny, when that world opens up, all these other kind of little worlds open up, and you get like, oh, then there's this technologies, and then there's like, obviously there's different medicines from all over the world, Ayurveda, TCM, and like it opens up a whole kind of Pandora's box of information and resources, and it's really fun and interesting to learn about. So tell us a little bit more about Theta Living and what you do specifically at your practice, and also kind of what the event is going to be tailored towards, and what kind of information and content will be there, and then who's going to be there, who are the speakers and guests.
Yep. So Theta Living is a holistic health center in Southeast Michigan. We're located in Riverview. And that all kind of just morphed into being. So I was in school for physical therapy. My dad was diagnosed with cancer. I was exposed to this whole new world and realized there is a, I was being called to be part of it and to show other people that they have options to treatment and cancer treatment in particular.
Mm.
So long story short, changed my career path, became a cancer coach, studying as a naturopath, and along the way in working with clients, I would recommend different types of therapy, PEMF, RIFE frequencies, acupuncture, Reiki, near infrared light therapy, all of these different holistic alternative type therapies, and there was nowhere for them to go to get
Mm.
it done.
Yeah.
So one by one, we just started adding these different therapies, and it turned into a wellness center. We're completely holistic. Everything that I have is natural, non-toxic, and it doesn't matter if you are diseased or not. If you don't want to be diseased, you have to do something. Awareness is not the same thing as prevention.
Mm.
So I host a lot of events throughout the year to focus on prevention. We call this the Cancer Prevention Convention because that's, when you get down to it, the only cure to cancer is prevention, right?
Yeah. It's the best
So
cure.
once,
It's easiest.
yeah,
It's easier than
it
going
is.
through it. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So, so in reaching out to different people while my dad was going through his diagnosis, I just made the best of friendships, really, to these people all over the world. It's part of the reason that I met you through one of these
Mm.
events. And we just all, when you find somebody that thinks like you, acts like you, talks like you, feels the same way that you do, goes through the same processes, thought processes, lives the same lifestyle you do, you need to form a network of those people to stay connected and to replenish yourself, to remind you why you do what you do,
Yeah.
and it just feels better when you're
Yeah.
connected. You find like-minded people. Um, Jim Rohn, I think, says you are the sum of the five closest people you keep near you.
Mm.
So that goes for anything,
Right.
whether it's your business, your health. You know,
Totally.
if you're hanging out with the drive-through junkies, more than likely you're going to eat fast food.
Right.
If you're eating organic and preparing your own meals, you're going to find those same type of people too. Alternative therapies, they're all going to be in the same type of place, and you can bounce ideas off of one another. You could share experiences, and it's a good opportunity to get together with some people who have other ideas, and we can put them together and create bigger ideas. There's power in numbers.
Mm.
So this cancer prevention convention, I bring in all of my friends from all over the globe. Ty and Charlene Bollinger from The Truth About Cancer, they host a docu-series, several of them now actually at this point. So they talk about the truth about cancer, the truth about vaccines, the truth about pet cancer, and we're going to incorporate all of that into August 19th, actually. We're going to get a piece of all of that. I have Dr. Daryl Wolf, the Doc of Detox. He is also going to be part. Del Bigtree with Vaxxed, for those who are not familiar with what vaccines are, what the potential consequences could be. It's a good idea to just come and get information. We're not
Mm.
biased. It's everything that we present is factual, evidence, scientific based. It's not just an opinion. We're not just throwing out what we think or feel might be the way. Everything that everyone presents is based on research and study.
Mm.
So we also have Ben Fuchs, who is a pharmacist, and he went from conventional pharmacy to, wait a second here, we're mimicking things in nature and producing synthetic versions of that,
Mm.
and we constantly refill it. So if we're always refilling a prescription, we're probably not doing justice to these people who are sick.
Right.
So he kind of weaved his way into into the pharmacy side. And it doesn't matter what side of the coin you're on, conventional, alternative, he can speak to anybody. So I invite nurses, doctors, pharmacists, and I've had it all in the past at these events, and they're incredibly impressed by the caliber of speakers and by the content that they are absorbing while at this convention. And the founders of the Hope for Cancer Institute in Mexico, Dr. Tony Jimenez and his wife Marcy, are also going to be out and part of this event. They're going to come speak. Marcy is she really brings the soft side and the heart and the story. She tells the story of who these people are, and so you hear about these cancer clinics outside of the country, but you see commercials and you see ads and flyers, but do you really know anybody that's been there? So she brings the gentle side of
Kind of
that.
humanizes it a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes it feel more personable.
Hmm.
So she's a fantastic speaker, presenter. Last year was her first year, actually, and she did a phenomenal job. Robert Scott Bell, he hosts the Robert Scott Bell Show. Very large following. It's an internet-based health news radio, health freedoms show, and they actually now they live stream through YouTube. So he's reaching a pretty wide audience too. And I recently added Dr. Marlene Siegel. Now she brings a different twist to it. She's a holistic veterinarian, and over the years, I have, in working with people who call me about their pets, I don't work with pets. I'm not a veterinarian and I don't specialize in animals. But people over the years have asked so many intense questions as if they were talking about their child.
Right.
So with that type of dedication to your pet's health and to the options that we have for reversing disease in our pets, and the commitment and dedication that people will do anything for their four-legged fur babies, I tell ya.
Right.
So she's going to be a nice icing on the cake for us there too. Yeah.
Very cool. And then also Dr. Rashid Buttar and his
He
unique story.
has an out of the country. We're going to have to video with him.
Oh, okay. He's not
yeah,
going to be okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's going to conference in.
He is.
Very unique individual who I believe helped healed his son from autism, essentially, correct? Which is
and many others.
Incredible,
right.
yeah, and that kind of led to his practice, and that's insightful information as well. So there's going to be a lot of really impactful and not just influential, but intelligent and hardworking researchers and people that are like Ty Bollinger, for example. I mean, he's flown all over the earth to interview doctors and scientists and researchers and survivors, and he's one of the biggest names in talking about cancer in today's world. So just the fact that he's coming alone is huge, and obviously Del Bigtree. So I'm super excited because these are people that I've learned a lot from personally, that I've continued to learn from as time goes on. And of course I'll be there as well for those of you that follow my work. I'll be there, so I'd love to meet any of you that come on through. And I think what's great about it, and just to kind of add to your point, is that and I always explain this to people that work in the holistic and natural space. I say, if you look into allopathic medicine, if you look at traditional medicine, one of the reasons why pharmaceutical drugs and what they do spread so quickly is because they have a really strong network, and when they release a drug and it's approved by the FDA, it spreads like wildfire because they have all these pharmacists in place, they have these doctors and these networks and these organizations. The natural and holistic world, unfortunately, and we kind of touched on this off the call, there's a lot of, I want to kind of go out on my own, and my techniques are best, and there's this whole, and I get it, I do, because once you discover something that works, you want to champion that and promote that in the world. But the challenge in that is that if we don't come together and learn from each other and learn from these different health technologies and holistic practices, we don't discover what could work for someone else, because we all have different, genetic blueprint. We all have a different environment we're growing up or raised in, or, our home. Some of us have mold, some of us, the list goes on and on and on. So coming together and networking and connecting with like-minded individuals is not only empowering on an information level to be more aware and, you know, awake to what the truth is, but also just that communal aspect of it to grow and understand things. And if you work in the holistic or natural space in any way, if you have a health center or you're a nutritionist or a chiropractor, or you have some type of practice, whether in Michigan or not, it's a great place to meet, network, and find synergy and help kind of elevate your work and your expertise in your field, which is what we need more of moving forward, to be more aware and to be more open to this information. So I think that's just such an important point to touch on and for people to really grasp and understand. And to add to that, I mean, you never know what can come from, you know, networking and meeting people, the opportunities. I mean, there's so much potential in that. So just, you know, whether you work in this space or you just want to learn more, you're getting the value either way, or both, you know. So I think it's incredibly valuable, and it's going to be incredibly insightful and incredibly rewarding for those that choose to go. And the event is only like, what is it, $90 or something like that? It's really
cheap. 95.
Okay, yeah, so it's $95. So it's pretty cheap. It's a whole day. It's the entire day. So you're getting an entire day's worth of content and networking and meeting these like-minded individuals for under $100. That's a steal. A lot of these conferences are, you know, hundreds of dollars, and you have to travel to California to go to them. So the fact that this is, you know, local to us in the Midwest at least, is really cool and exciting, and I think it's going to be totally worth it. Anytime these type of events are, you know, open and available like this, with such high profile people that are doing great work in the world of holistic and natural health, you have to make it. You have to go. So that's my perspective on it. That's my approach. So for any of you that follow my work, like I said, whether you're in Michigan or not, I will put information about the event right below this video, a link to the Cancer Prevention Convention, you know, the information on the speakers and the content, the location, to get tickets, all that kind of information. And I hope I can get to see you at that event. And if you have any friends or family in Michigan or in, you know, the Midwest, maybe Ohio, Toledo, in this kind of region that you think would be interested in this information or content, please share this information with them. Send this video to their inbox because this is going to help people, and this is ultimately going to save people's lives. This information is saving lives, and it's preparing people to, like you said, prevent cancer and prevent these diseases. And the best cure is prevention. And we have the science, we have the research, we have the knowledge, we have the information. All we need to do is be aware of this information and implement it in our lives. But the first step is being aware and taking action and getting that information and being around empowered and like-minded people that will instill that in our lives and help kind of keep us on that track and moving forward and progressing. So thank you so much for your time, Stephanie. I think there's a lot of value in this. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners and you know, any information or tidbits or value in this event?
No, I just, well, yeah, yes, actually.
Okay.
It's one day. It's under $100, and it has saved lives. I've received messages, emails every year from somebody that said, I completely changed the course of action, or I was diagnosed after I went to the event and I knew what to do. So that's just another point that I want to make is I don't have cancer. David doesn't have cancer. None of the speakers have cancer, but we are so passionate about providing this information to the world that if you ever are presented with that diagnosis, rather than what's been ingrained in our brain to do is panic and go into fear mode and then just follow the recipe, chemo, radiation, surgery, you have options. You can take a step back and say, you know what? I know there are other choices. I know I have options. Let me look back in my notes. Let me contact this person. I'm a real person. David's a real person. You can reach out to us. These speakers are real, touchable, contact. You can contact them. You can reach out to them. And there's a support network there. So it's really, that's my biggest mission, is to connect people to their support system. You're not alone, and you have options.
Yeah, awesome. And then one more thing to add. I don't know if you chatted with my friend Nick, but I believe he'll be coming as well. He's one of the top GMO bloggers in the world, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this guy has gotten emails from people that do not like his work, and he's really in the trenches of understanding genetically modified organisms and where they're at, where they're going, what the dangers are. So he will be there as well, and he's someone that you can chat with. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's very approachable. And that's just more information and knowledge and information there. So thank you so much for your time, Stephanie. I'm looking forward to it. For everyone listening, once again, I'll put the link up right below this video so you can check it out, get your tickets, and like I said, share it with friends and family that you think would benefit from this information and are hungry and seeking for this type of stuff. So thanks a lot, Stephanie. Once again, I'll see you at the event, and I'm looking forward to it.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Take care.